Most people do not respect spiders first, they fear them. A spider can be smaller than your thumb and still change the feeling of an entire room. It lurks in corners, it hangs from ceilings, it waits in basements, bathrooms, sheds, windows, gardens, and garages. It hunts around us quietly, often in places we thought belonged only to humans. That is why spiders make people uncomfortable. They do not announce themselves. They appear suddenly, they move quickly. They build traps in the open air, then sit motionless as if the room itself has become part of their hunting ground. They watch you sleep, eat, and tuck your kids in at night. But spiders should not be understood as monsters. They should be understood as one of nature's most flexible survivors. They live in forests, deserts, caves, grasslands, wetlands, farms, mountains, homes, dense jungles, and the Arctic. Some survive beneath snow. Some live on remote sub-Antarctic islands humans barely touch. For an animal most people notice only when it frightens them, that is an extraordinary achievement. Spiders survived not by becoming huge, loud, or powerful in the obvious way. They survived by becoming patient, adaptable, and inventive. Long before humans built shelters, traps, nets, bridges, or thread, spiders were already turning silk into survival. To understand how that happened, the story has to begin before the world looked familiar. About 400 million years ago, land was becoming more alive, but it was still a difficult place for small animals. There were no birds in the trees, no mammals moving through the shade, no flowers, fruit, bees, or familiar forests. The Devonian world had early plants, fungi, damp soils, and small arthropods moving through a landscape that was still being built. For a small predator, land offered opportunity, but it also created new dangers. Water no longer surrounded the body. Eggs could dry out, soft young could be exposed. Molting could leave an animal vulnerable. A spider-like creature needed protection before it needed a web. That may be where silk first mattered. Before silk became a trap in the air, it was probably a shield. It could cover eggs, it could line burrows, it could create safer retreats. It could help a spider hold onto surfaces, escape falls, and leave a lifeline behind as it moved through a rough and changing world. This was the first great spider innovation. Silk allowed a small animal to protect life before it hunted with it. A spider's fangs only mattered when prey was close. A leg only touched one surface at a time, but silk extended the spider beyond its body. It let the animal build shelter, guard its young, sense movement, and control the space around it. A spider web looks delicate when humans notice it. A few thin lines in a window frame. A pattern between branches, a net glowing with dew. It looks almost weightless, as if it appeared without effort. But a web is not random. It is built from liquid protein pulled through tiny organs called spinnerets. Inside the spider's body, silk begins as a liquid material made by specialized glands. As the spider draws it out, it hardens into thread. Different kinds of silk can be used for different jobs. Strong anchor lines, sticky capture lines, soft egg protection, wrapping silk, and safety drag lines. A spider does not simply release a finished web. It builds one decision at a time. An orb-weaving spider may begin by releasing a fine strand of silk into the air. A breeze carries it until it catches on another surface. That first line becomes a bridge. The spider crosses it, strengthens it, and begins building a frame. Then it lays lines outward like spokes on a wheel. Then it circles back. The spider moves around the structure, placing a spiral through the frame. Some threads are dry enough for the spider to walk on. Others are sticky enough to hold an insect struggling for its life. By the time the web is finished, it is more than a trap. It is a sensory system. The spider does not need to see everything that happens inside it. The web carries information through vibration. A trapped fly, a falling leaf, a possible mate, or a dangerous intruder can each send a different signal through the lines. The spider waits in the center or nearby, touching silk like a musician touching strings. When the web moves, the spider reads it. This changed predation. Before webs, a small hunter had to chase, stalk, ambush, or grab prey directly. A web allowed a spider to control space far larger than its body. A spider smaller than a fingernail could build a trap many times wider than itself. It did not need to become bigger. It needed better silk, better placement, and better timing. That mattered even more as insects rose into the air. Flying changed the world. A small animal with wings could cross gaps, reach food, escape obstacles, and move through open space in ways ground predators could not easily follow. Spiders did not grow wings in response. They placed silk where wings would pass. A web stretched between branches or grasses is not just a trap. It is a net thrown into the air by an animal that cannot fly. The spider remains on land, but its hunting zone expands into empty space. The web allowed a land animal to hunt the sky. A moth moves through the night, hits a line it cannot see, and suddenly the air itself becomes a cage. The struggle sends vibration across the structure. The spider moves in, bites, wraps, waits, or feeds. The prey thought it was moving through open air. The spider had already turned that air into territory. This is why webs can feel so eerie. They are almost invisible until they work. A fly does not see architecture. It discovers it by becoming trapped inside it. And spiders did not stop at one design. Some built orb webs, those nearly circular traps that look planned with impossible precision. Some built sheets, laying silk across low plants. Some built funnels, where the spider waits in a hidden tunnel and rushes out when prey touches the outer web. Some built tangled cobwebs in corners, chaotic structures that work perfectly in cluttered places. Some used silk near the ground. Trapdoor spiders line burrows with silk and build camouflaged doors. Vibrations outside tell them when something has come close enough. Then the hidden predator erupts from below. Some spiders became even more specialized. Bolas spiders do not need a full web. They use a sticky ball of silk on a line, swinging it at passing moths like a weapon. Instead of filling space with silk, they turn one thread into a precision tool. Silk did not force spiders into one lifestyle. It gave them options. A web can be a net, a tunnel, a tripwire, a shelter, a nursery, a bridge, a parachute, a trapdoor hinge, or an alarm system. The sacaic material can be reinvented for completely different worlds. That is why spiders did not remain one kind of predator. They became thousands of variations on the same idea. Build with the body. Wait with patience. Let the world come close enough to feel. But the spider story becomes even stranger when you realize what hundreds of millions of years did not do to them. All that time on Earth did not turn spiders into giant monsters. It turned them into specialists. When humans imagine prehistoric animals, they often make them larger. Giant sharks, giant sloths, giant crocodiles, giant dragonflies, giant reptiles moving through lost worlds. So it is easy to imagine that somewhere in deep time, there must have been a true giant spider. A spider large enough to hunt mammals. A spider big enough to look like something from a nightmare. For a while, science seemed to have found one. Its name was Megarachne. The name itself sounded like a warning. The fossil came from roughly 300 million-year-old rocks in Argentina and was originally described as an enormous spider. If that had been correct, it would have been the largest known spider to ever live. But later research changed the story. Megarachne was not a spider. It was a eurypterid, an extinct aquatic arthropod often described as a sea scorpion. The famous giant prehistoric spider was not really a spider at all. That correction matters because it reveals something about spiders and something about humans. Humans were ready to believe in the monster version. But spiders did not win by becoming monsters. They won by becoming innovative. There were huge arthropods in Earth's past. The Carboniferous period had giant millipede-like animals and large insects, but true spiders never needed to follow that path. Their success came from being small enough to hide, light enough to climb, patient enough to wait, and inventive enough to use silk in ways that changed their relationship with space. A big predator must feed a big body. A spider can survive on tiny opportunities. A crack in bark, a gap under a rock, a corner of a room, a plant stem, a burrow in soil, a pocket of air under snow, a ceiling beam, a cave wall, a blade of grass. Spiders did not become one giant thing. They became many strange things. Jumping spiders are one of the clearest examples. They often do not rely on capture webs. They use vision, patience, and precision. Their forward-facing eyes give them an unusually alert appearance, almost as if they are looking back with intention. They stalk prey slowly, judge distance, and then leap. Even then, silk remains part of the strategy. A jumping spider often leaves a dragline behind before it jumps. If the leap fails, the spider does not simply fall into death. It hangs from its own safety line and climbs back. For a web-building spider, silk can be the trap. For a jumping spider, silk can be insurance. In Australia, some jumping spiders became famous for something that looks almost impossible at their size. Peacock spiders are tiny, often only a few millimeters long, but males can display bright colors and perform complex courtship dances. They raise their legs, vibrate, turn, flash patterned fans, and court females with movements that look more like theater than survival. For an animal humans often misunderstand, peacock spiders are almost absurdly expressive. Tiny predators dancing on leaves, a hidden world of color, signal, risk, and choice happening below the scale where most people pay attention. Then there is the diving bell spider. Water should be a barrier for most spiders because they breathe air. But this spider builds a silk chamber underwater and fills it with air carried from the surface. The silk dome becomes a living diving bell. The spider can rest, hunt, and live beneath the surface inside a bubble supported by thread. That is the spider story in one image. Silk began as protection on land. It became a trap in the air. Then, in one lineage, it became a way to carry air into water. A thread became a shelter. A shelter became a hunting system. A hunting system became a way to breathe underwater. Other spiders solved other problems. Some mimic ants, blending into the busy chemical and visual world of insects that might otherwise attack them. Some crab spiders wait inside flowers, using stillness and camouflage to ambush pollinators. Some wolf spiders carry their egg sacs with them and later carry their young on their backs. Some spiders use trapdoors, some use funnels, some use messy tangles, some use no prey-catching web at all. In 2025, researchers described a massive connected web inside a sulfur cave on the Albanian-Greek border. With more than 111 Zeusan spiders living in darkness in a structure far larger than anything people usually associate with house spiders. The web was made by two species living together in unusual cave conditions, showing that even familiar kinds of spiders can behave in surprising ways under the right pressures. This is why spiders are not just survivors. They are problem solvers. Their bodies stayed small, but their strategies became enormous. Scientists have described more than 53,000 spider species, and the number continues to grow as new species are identified. That diversity is the answer to the giant spider question. Time did not make spiders big, time made them adaptable. And because they became so adaptable, they became one of the most important predator groups on land. Not because people love them, because insects fear them. Spiders are really good at catching bugs. That sounds simple, but it is one of the reasons they matter so much. Every year, spiders eat an enormous amount of insects and other tiny animals. Scientists estimate that globally, spiders kill roughly as much prey in a year as humans eat in meat and fish. That means the spider in a web, the spider under a leaf, the spider in the field, and the spider in a barn are all part of something much larger. They are helping control the insect world. Without predators like spiders, insects could disrupt forests, grasslands, crops, gardens, and stored food. They could damage plants, overwhelm farms, and throw ecosystems out of balance. Spiders do not protect the world in a way humans easily notice. Their success often looks like nothing happening. A garden not overrun, a crop not destroyed, a forest not stripped bare, a room with fewer flies than it might have had. That is why spiders matter beyond fear. They are not just animals that lurk in corners or build webs in windows. They are one of nature's quiet defenses against insects becoming too powerful. Humans may not love spiders, but nature needs them. And across history, some people understood that spiders were not just things to fear. They were builders, weavers, survivors, and symbols of intelligence. Humans have always had an uneasy relationship with spiders. We fear them, but we also watch them. We destroy their webs, but we notice how carefully those webs are made. A creature that pulls thread from its own body was never going to be ignored. In Greek myth, Arachne was a gifted weaver whose story tied spiders to skill, pride, punishment, and transformation. In West African folklore, Anansi the spider became a trickster and keeper of stories. He was not powerful because he was large. He was powerful because he was clever. In some Native American traditions, Spider-Woman or Spider-Grandmother appears as a creator, helper, teacher, or guide. The spider was not only something to fear, it could be a symbol of wisdom, weaving, and survival. These stories are different, but they reveal the same human instinct. Some people looked at the spider and saw what fear often hides: a builder, a weaver, a survivor, a creature that could connect empty space, repair what was broken, wait without wasting energy, and build a world from thread. That is why the spider's strangeness should not be mistaken for weakness. The many legs, the stillness, the sudden movement, the silk, the web, all of it is part of the design. Spiders did not become like the animals humans easily understand. They became something else. They were there when land ecosystems were young. They adapted as forests rose. They met flying insects with webs. They entered deserts, caves, grasslands, homes, snow-covered landscapes, and islands humans barely touch. They never needed to become giants. They became innovators instead. So the next time a spider appears in a room, the old reaction may still come first. A pause, a step back, a quick feeling that something does not belong. But the spider belongs to a much older story than the room itself. Long before walls, windows, cities, farms, or humans, spiders were already doing what they still do now: making thread, reading the world through vibration, turning empty space into survival. The animal we misunderstand may be one of the oldest builders on land.